Hello everyone, and this is the casting hydralist VP Nursky coming to you guys with some awesome game casts. This is going to be game 2 from the round of 4 for the King of Aiur series. First spawning as the pink down here, none other than dKiLLeR. Then spawning up here to the north, the loser of the first set, the blue Protoss looking to make a comeback in this series, cRuZa. As I said before, this is the round of 4. This is game 2 of this set between dKiLLeR and cRuZa. This is going to be on the Blizzard version of the map, Shakira's Plateau. You can always tell that because they have removed the backdoor destructible rocks. They have instead moved them over towards where the third is, so that you can remove them to take the smiley face expansion there. They have also removed the smiley face expansion. Those gas geysers used to be up here. They're now more standard positions. So on Shakira's Plateau, we do have a pretty easy to take natural, pretty open ramp. We do see that it looks like cRuZa is going to be going for a fairly early expansion, placing that forward pylon down. dKiLLeR, interestingly enough, guys, I almost feel obligated to whisper a little bit. He has 10 pulled, has not actually even built an overseer yet. Just now starting 2 more drones to go to 12 of 10. Be interesting to see what he's going to do there. Is he going to go all in once again as he did in game 1, or is he going to do something else? Now building an Overlord. That Overlord should finish up just around when the pool finishes. So he will have more than enough supply to make some early lings and apply some very early pressure to cRuZa. cRuZa just now getting into the base of dKiLLeR, and it's got to be thinking to himself, oh my god, the pool is already finished. So as we look back at the base of cRuZa, we do see Forge quickly going down. Was maybe considering going Gateway first, but definitely, or Nexus first, but definitely is not going to be able to do that now. Adding another pylon is going to need the wall off this front to have any chance to hold off this early pressure by dKiLLeR. dKiLLeR now with lings producing looks like up to 8 lings. It's going to be trying to apply some pressure to the front. cRuZa moving around with his probe. Does see what is going on the base of dKiLLeR. Meanwhile, back at the front of cRuZa, we do have that Forge just about finished up. Is now going to finish. Feverishly trying to get it on a cannon. Does have that cannon started. He's still going to need the wall this off, though. He's going to need to buy time. Throwing down his first gateway now. Moving over. He's going to throw down a pylon. Using 3 pylons in the gateway to block. This is a hard wall. But dKiLLeR is going to move up anyways. He's going to start attacking the pylon that just started. Trying to whittle it down as quickly as he possibly can. Also working on this pylon down here with a couple of lings. Does have 8 lings out now, droning behind this. Is going to probably take down his first pylon before this cannon can finish. Yes, does take down the first pylon. cRuZa very crucially builds yet another gateway to block off. dKiLLeR now working on this pylon. Is going to take this pylon down. 2, 3, just 2 lings actually managed to get into the base. dKiLLeR now with 2 lings in the base of cRuZa. cRuZa quickly cancels that gateway. Did not want that gateway up yet. Adding another pylon on. So losing 200 minerals very quickly. Is finally going to get that Nexus down that he wanted to get down very quickly, but he is going to have to get rid of these lings before he can actually do anything else. Meanwhile, back in the base of dKiLLeR, if we look really quick, just producing a lot of drones. Has not even taken any gas yet. Finally has gotten his expansion down. Just a little bit delayed so that he could do that pressure. Probes are going to finally clean up this last lead, but dKiLLeR does actually manage to pick off one more probe before he is going to lose the sling. Ling should die fairly shortly though, but dKiLLeR doing an awesome job of leading those probes around. So much mining time lost. We look at the income tab really quick. We can see dKiLLeR already up 20 to just the 18 harvesters of cRuZa. So dKiLLeR doing awesome in that count. cRuZa just now finally taking his gas, taking both of his gases at once. Cybernetics core finally on the way. Forge has been done for a while. Nexus about 75% done, but if we look back in the base of dKiLLeR, his hatchery is going to finish a little first actually, and he is still ahead in harvesters, 24 just to 21. Still has not taken any gas, just powering out drones as quickly as possible after applying that pressure. Look at that, 6 drones in production as he finally unsidecaps himself. Going to be doing a transfer to his natural now. Second queen not quite on the way just yet. Probably will see him starting that up very soon. Just operating off of 1 queen now, getting a lot of drones out, making sure he spends all that larva down. A couple of lings on the way, and dKiLLeR actually moving out. Could be potentially taking an extremely quick third base. Is indeed going to be taking a faster base. This at the 6 minute and 25 second mark. This is an extremely fast third. dKiLLeR relying on that early pressure to keep his opponent in his base. Stalker just now popping out. It's going to go and shoo away that Overlord. Probably actually is going to actually get a kill on this Overlord here. Would not expect this Overlord to get out of the base of cRuZa. cRuZa definitely going to be able to kill dKiLLeR's Overlord. No pun intended, guys. And the Overlord does indeed die. Warp gate research is on the way. Second gateway has been added now. No other hidden tech in the base of cRuZa. cRuZa really has no idea whatsoever what killer is even up to. If we look at the vision, has not seen that expansion go up, has not seen killer take any gas. But we do see in the meantime killer has taken both his gases at his main, has not taken the gases at the natural yet, pumping out a ton of drones. That third already almost 75% complete. Ling moving forward wants to see what cRuZa is up to. We'll get a very good vision of everything cRuZa is doing. Couple more Lings poking forward, just going to back straight up. cRuZa's now going to move out with the Stalker. Wants to maybe pressure forward, maybe even get some scouting information. He's still playing fairly blind right now. Has no idea what killer is up to. If we look at the income tab, we can see killer absolutely crushing cRuZa in harvester count, 45 to just 33. If we bring up the army and income tab, we can see army supply wise, killer just operating off of 2 Lings, about to be down to 1. Army supply per cRuZa up to 8. Worker supply though, killer is absolutely smashing cRuZa, 55 to just the 36. Killer now has finally started Ling speed, is getting up. Hive just now starting. That third base has completed. Tons of drones already over at that base. Killer just getting further and further ahead. Now starting to produce some infantry units. If we do look, he is up 49 to just the 36 harvesters of cRuZa. So Killer with a very commanding lead. If we do look now, a couple of gateways getting added and a Twilight Council. So it's going to be very interesting to see what cRuZa does decide to do with this Twilight Council. And he is going for Blink. We also have +1 ground weapons on the way for cRuZa. So with 4 gateways and a Twilight Council with Blink and Research, it looks like cRuZa's going to be going for a 4 gateway Blink Stalker push with a +1 attack. This could be a very potent attack for cRuZa, except that if we look over back at Killer's base, he has produced a lot of Lings, a lot of drones. We look at the income tab, he's up to 59 drones already. Just an absolute ridiculous amount of drones for Killer. Killer just absolutely smashing in the macro this game. We hit the production tab, we can see a Killer with basically nothing but Lings out on the map. Unit tab, we have 25 Zerglings to just the 7 Stalkers. Speedlings are definitely going to be able to handle these Stalkers with no problem. This is a fairly wide open map. 1 Zergling getting picked off. Killer should have a very good idea of cRuZa's composition. Now 12 Roaches on the way for dKiLLeR. Layer has completed, also is researching roach speed, has pretty good creep spread, already pretty close to connecting his third to the rest of his base, getting it very forward up towards the middle choke on the map. That's going to give Lings tons of extra speed. We have Killer quickly morphing an Overseer Cocoon, does not want to get thrown off guard by any kind of DT play. Blink Stalker is now moving forward. Blink has completed. +1 weapons has completed. He is ready to try and do his push. +1 armor on the way. Roach speed still quite a ways from completing. Does not have burrow. Probably will not need it for this though. Here comes the Stalkers. They're going to try and pick off an Overlord. But here comes the Lings and the Roaches. These Stalkers are going to have to run and use that Blink to micro back. Oddly enough, fire at their own pylon. I don't know if he actually ended up canceling that in time or not. Hard to tell. Hopefully somebody caught that on the income tab and was able to see what was going on there. More Blink Stalkers getting added though. Pylon going back down. And here he is going to advance anyways. The Lings wrapping around. Roach is coming forward trying to Blink micro against those Lings, but the Lings moving into the middle of the Stalkers to trap them. cRuZa is losing tons of these Stalkers right now. 68 to 123 supply. Killer just resupplying as he loses anything. Killer supply hardly moved at all. Now cRuZa finally doing a little bit of damage, but these Stalkers starting to get very weak. A lot of them taking a ton of damage, now losing another one. Blink Micro not quite enough to actually hold off all these Roaches. Roaches are going to just pound down this pylon, and Killer is going to be so far ahead at this point. It is absolutely ridiculous. We look at the income tab, is 59 to just the 39 harvesters of cRuZa. If we look at the army tab, army supply wise, Killer all the way up to 67, just 26 for cRuZa. So Killer pulling out to an absolutely commanding lead, even taking his 4th base now. 3rd base is completely saturated, all his gas is taken. Same at this base right here. Hydralisk done now on the way for Killer, along with some evolution chambers. Killer just absolutely powering forward here in tech. cRuZa backing up a little bit now, putting some of his pylons forward, and is getting the robotics facility actually out in kind of a little bit of an interesting location, putting out towards the front of his base. Maybe he wants to actually show Killer exactly what he's doing. We'll see what he's doing with that though. Just now finally adding his 1st sentry of the game to this mix. We do have the missile attacks level 1 and carapace level 1 on the way for Killer. 11 Hydralisks on the way, along with the groove spines upgrade for those Hydralisks that will give them a lot of increased extra range. This Force 4 cRuZa is now moving out with just 1 sentry. Stalker trying to blink forward to pick off some Lings. A couple of Zealots have been added to the mix. Does not want to get overrun by Lings again. But if we look at the army of killer, it is looking so potent. A whole bunch of Roaches. Has not gotten Burrow yet. Bunch of Speedlings. Hydralisk now on the way. Killer is undoubtedly looking to push with this force sometime in the near future. Already 168, 167 supply. Almost to maxed out, and cRuZa has not even hit 100 supply yet. Now actually Psylocking himself, waiting for a pylon to finish. Finally does finish, so you'll be able to produce more units. Just a minor blunder by cRuZa. cRuZa really needs to get up at third base sometime soon. Bunch of Overlords hanging out, can scout him at any time. Absolute great vision of the map for Killer. If we look at this, does see everything everywhere on the map. Even has a couple of Lings hanging out at cRuZa's potential third. Only base that cRuZa could take without Killer knowing is this base down here. Do have the pneumatized card base. I apologize for that. That will give Overlord speed now, so he's going to move those Overlords around the map to be able to scout even more. One Immortal out now for cRuZa. A bunch of Stalkers. A couple of Zealots. Has not gotten charged for the Zealots. One up to 1-1 on the upgrades. Has not added any more upgrades just yet. 1-1 just about to finish up for Killer, so they will be even on upgrades. Tons of Hydralisk out, though. No Colossus is the big key here. Pathogen Glands on the way. Infestation Pit, it has now finished for Killer. Even has started his hive in his main base. Do have this force of Killer moving out, though. cRuZa is trying to take the stir, but Killer is moving in to deny the stir. Does not want cRuZa to be able to take it. Going to easily deny this. I'm not even sure cRuZa actually managed to cancel it in time. Think he may have. Moving his forces now up to his front. Wants to be able to push back Killer. Really needs to get that third base online if he's going to have any hope in the world. But look at this force. He is now maxed. Killer at 200 supply. Only 123 for cRuZa. cRuZa falling so far behind in the early game here. Now Killer's going to just easily pick up that pylon. Backs up. Blink Stalker's going to be moving forward. Killer's just going to turn around and engage this. Killer with probably a vastly superior force. His forces are 1-1. cRuZa's forces are 1-1. Trying to use a little bit of blink micro. Ends up blinking all of his Stalkers at once back. Is going to try and retreat behind the force fields. Killer is pushing forward, though, smashing through the units of cRuZa. cRuZa's down to 90 supply now. 196 to Killer. Just completely, just endlessly reinforcing. 20 Roaches, 24 Roaches on the way. Pushing cRuZa further and further back towards his base. And cRuZa is going to be forced to GG out of game 2. And Killer is going to go up 2-0 in this series. What an absolutely miraculously marvelous game by Killer. Completely dupes cRuZa with that early pool. Forces cRuZa to build a lot of structures early that he did not want to build. Slowed down his build quite a bit, and Killer comes out on top, taking a lead commandingly in the series 2-0 as they head into Game 3. This is VP Nursky, and I will see you at the next game.